Signs in the sun, moon, and stars. Mazzaroth Decoded. September 15th through the 30th. Welcome back, family. This is Tabernacle of the Bridegroom. Let's hunt signs in the heavens. Back on Stellari. Still dealing with some congestion and whatever this was kicked my butt. So thanks for your prayers. Are much needed. We are barely just starting to come around to the point where I could do this correctly. It's been a wild ride. I've had a lot of issues with my daughter living with me now. Has taken up an extreme amount of time. And I lost about 47 days of work, and that created some issues with my time, and I had to deal with a lot of stuff. And so we're finally through that season, and we have some time here because of the weather. Otherwise, I'd be working. I basically have to drop everything and just spend all my time working to try to catch up because of the financial situation that it's caused for me not being able to go to work. So it's a blessing to be able to have the time to do this report. And this is very, very interesting, the things that are happening in the heavens right now. So we're going to hunt these signs down, and we're going to bring light to what we're seeing in the heavens. The first place I want to start before we get to our first asteroid Iris is this chapter 19 of Psalms. If you've been with me for a while, then you've heard me read this multiple times. But for those of you who are new to the channel, this is really our theme text for why we do the work that we do, coming from Psalms chapter 19 to the chief musician, a psalm of David. The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament showeth his handiwork. Day unto day uttereth speech, and night unto night showeth knowledge. There is no speech nor language where their voice is not heard. Their line is gone out through all the earth, and their words to the end of the world. In them he hath set a tabernacle for the sun, which is as a bridegroom coming out of his chamber, and rejoiceth as a strong man to run a race. His going forth is from the end of the heaven, and his circuit unto the ends of it, and there is nothing hid from the heat thereof. And This is why we do the work we do, because these signs are being shown to us day by day and night by night. We have the ability, using Stellarium and other software that allows us to do this type of work. We can do this um, astronomical hunting uh, at any hour of the day that you wish, and you can go forwards and backwards in time, and you can find the exact alignments yourself. It's very simple work. It takes a lot of time, but this is something that anybody can do. So what we do is we hunt the entirety of the heavens, which includes asteroids, comets. We look for star alignments. We look for planetary or wandering star alignments. We look for conjunctions, and we look for alignments on meridian, and we look for the signs that are being presented to us with these comets and asteroids, because they all play a role in the history. This is all a grand story that plays out each day, and we can participate in the storyline by, number one, researching what each of these constellations mean from the ancient Mazzaroth perspective, which is radically different than what we find with modern astrology. We're not talking about astrology here. This is the work of the Mazzaroth. It has a complete different story, and it's 180 degrees off of the spring equinox, or the springtime new year. In the ancient times, the heavens were divided by Leo and Virgo, and it began with Virgo and it ended with Leo. And this is shown to us in the image of the Sphinx. We can see how the Sphinx is an exact replication of the constellation of Leo. And so what we're doing here is we're bringing forth day by day and hour by hour. Right now, I'm having to catch back up from the 15th through the 30th. We're going to report for this is going to be our longest report I've ever done on the heavens. There's so much jam packed into this one. You better strap in, because it's a lot to absorb. But we are playing catch up, and we don't want to miss any of these signs because they all play a role. And remember, for those of you who are learning how to do this work, I have about 75 asteroids that I'm tracking. I have about 30 comets that I'm tracking, and there's literally, from what I understand, there's thousands more asteroids that I have not gotten to yet. And this work can be done by anybody. You can go right into Stellarium and begin hunting the different asteroids and find their alignment points. And you can see how I do this work here. If you've been following me for a while, then you understand the method of finding the alignments. It doesn't matter if they are in the constellation. That's great representation of what's going on, but it's when they make their alignments is when we find the values of the asteroid or the comet makes its appearance because everything in the heavens is plasmatic. And when these things make their alignments from our perspective, there's energy there. And so we can see that as a sign because from our perspective, there is an alignment directly with this constellation. And it's not just a random um, analysis because we are looking at a direct alignment. And so that brings forth speech and language into what we're looking at. So the first thing that we're looking at today is asteroid Iris. And we've been tracking this one for a long time. This is September the 15th. Just after midnight, we have asteroid Iris aligning with the Cancer constellation. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to look at asteroid Iris codes. These are our asteroid codes using the equation asteroid Iris. If we input that into gematria, then we have numerical equations, and we can equate that to all of these codes that I find and I have found over the years that this brings forth more uh, deeper language than if we were just to look at um, the alignment and what that means from a Mazzaroth perspective. This brings forth some very, very deep um, numerical alignments, and from what I have seen within the codes, it perfectly aligns with the things that we're looking for. So, asteroid Iris equals the eye of God's Son, a rapture, behold the hand, behold the nail, mark of the Lord, Christ is King, morning star, serpent bearer, the demonic snake, financial crisis, power outage, release the Kraken code, Mario Bergoglio, Game of Thrones, Spirit of Abraham, a serpent-headed lion, the apocalypse, and behold a pale horse. This is September the 15th, and it aligns with the scarab beetle. Now, the reason we say that is because in the ancient times, Cancer constellation was depicted as a scarab beetle. Um, let's see if I can. Um, Forgive me, fam. What I'm doing is I'm hunting for. Um, I I believe it's here. Um, I might be wrong. I've been doing some research. This is something I'm going to be bringing forth for the body soon. Um, and I believe it's in here, but I could be wrong. It might be in one of their other pages. Forgive me as I go through this. There is some information I wanted to bring forth, but I may have to run this in a different, um, I may have to, I'm going to have to do that at a separate time, because there's so much, and I don't want to make this 2 hours. So let's just keep moving, and I'll post this in the community for those of you who want to see this information. It's really important to understand from an ancient perspective because the Cancer constellation represents resurrection. And it's important to understand what these signs truly mean. It's not just a crab. Um, Persepe, the center of the Cancer constellation, was called the manger, and that's very important Mazzaroth language because it's like the the inner circle, we'll call it. And when you have this alignment with Iris being the eye of God, it's sort of a pointing us to look here. And that alignment is a sign of resurrection. And the reason for that, again, is that Cancer in the ancient depiction is a scarab beetle, which represents new life, it represents resurrection, and it represents a new beginning. And so we can see that as a sign moving forward to watch for. So our next one is asteroid Alexandra. And we have asteroid Alexandra. And it's really important to watch as this happens. It's really, really important to understand what we have happening here. Uh, This is the alignment with Ocellus Borealis. It's coming within the inner circle of the star. And this is one of the two donkeys. Um, there are two stars here in Cancer, and they represent the two donkeys. And there's a whole deeper study that goes on there. But it's important to understand that we have some very, very strong language. We have Iris aligning, then we have Alexandra aligning. Let's go ahead and take a look at the codes there. So we have asteroid Alexandra equals April Fool's Day, Adam and Eve. The Holy Bible is a code. Serpent head be bruised. The snake has been beheaded. Godlike Productions, final countdown. 1,000 years, event horizon. Nazareth, I'm back. God in a beautiful garden, the time of Sirius, Luciferes and Luciferin, the copycat god, puppet master, tree bear be good fruit. Decode the key of David, October 7th. Moon, moon, moon. Okay, this is very, very serious. This alignment on the 17th with Alexandra. And what we want to do is show, let's do this really quick. Um, we want to show this coming in. So now we have this alignment happening. And it's just unbelievable that this alignment, this is a very incredible sign here. This is asteroid Alexandra aligning with the moon. I mean, you can see how close this alignment is. And then this is also the moon at Ocellus Borealis. And I was going to bring up the star codes, but there I have way too many things going on. So um, let's look at how this participates. Um, this is essentially a key, and it's pointing to this upcoming October the 7th. And if you've been watching the other videos of uh, what's coming out from a lot of the Watchmen, we'll just put it that way. We're not going to name names. We're just going to say there's a lot of Watchmen that have on their radar this October 7th date. There's been a lot of talk of people predicting rapture dates and making statements about these dates as if there's certain things that are absolutely going to happen. What we do in this work is we bring forth what the heavens are speaking, and this is none of this language is my own language. This is stuff that everybody can look up online. It's all Mazzaroth research, things that have already been shown to us, and all we're doing is presenting it from the angle of the escape of the bride. This work has been given to me to do specifically for the bride and the signs that are associated with the escape of the bride. And we can watch the signs in the heavens declare that timing. And all we have to do is continue to look up into the heavens or use some type of star mapping software. And we can all do this work together to continue to locate more and more signs that lead us to where we're looking for. We won't have to listen to mankind because we as mankind we don't have the the ability to see past our own understanding because we are within our own from my perspective it's like a cell and we can only see what we can see individually, but the heavens declare the glory, and I can't shift this to be something different than what it is. This is being presented to us day by day and hour by hour. All we have to do is look up. So that's the work that we're doing is presenting this from a heavenly perspective and not from an earthly perspective. This is spiritual in nature, and we are just decoding the signs in the heavens. It's very simple, but it takes a lot of time, and so we can see how these signs and these codes give us more detail on what we're looking for when it comes to these alignments. So we have Alexandra aligning with the donkey. Then we have the moon aligning with the donkey. And the next place we're going is let's I'm hoping that this is going to come up. Here we go. Okay, so what we're looking at here is Comet Swan, and this is all happening basically on the same day, almost at the same time. We have Comet C2025R2 Swan at Spica, and this is what they call the birth line with the harvest star. And if you look at the constellation of Virgo, she's holding a sheaf, and Spica is within that sheaf. It's called the harvest star. And on the Dendera zodiac, there's only two stars presented in the entire zodiac. One being Spica and the other being Sirius. And it's very important to understand this ancient star lore because this predated the majority of the star language that we see from Babylonia, etc. None of the modern Greek or Roman or any of the pantheons of the gods that we read about are new. These are all ancient stories that are retold from culture to culture with different names and different understandings, but this is all the exact same story presented to us from a different culture's perspective. So we have Comet Swan aligning on the 16th with the birth line, and this is Comet Swan equals Decode Lord Yeshua Christ, Midnight Hour, K, God JC, Immaculate Bride of God JC, another name for Mary Magdalene, 10th of Tevet, Apocalypse, April 8th. Now we gotta stop there for a second because I believe this is tied to the April 8th wedding ring eclipse. Salvation, Hyperborea, Pentecost, finding hidden knowledge. The Magus, bring on the thunder. Heaven's anointed plant. Abomination, Ashkenazis, Antichrist. Zeus is Marduk. The end, Bible code. I am the Bible code, and war is coming. Okay, family, you don't make any of this stuff up. These are important signs that we're seeing in the heavens. This is Comet Swan on the 16th, making its alignment. And now what we're going to do is we're going here. We're hoping that this all works out. Um, Here we go. This is Comet Weir Shows. And we have an alignment with the crown. This is Comet Weir shows aligning with Corona Borealis, the crown. They call it the Northern Crown. And if you watched my Comet Codes breakdown of Comet Weir shows, then you know this is very, very, very important language in the heavens. This could be our sign of the crown given to the white horse rider. So let's dig a little deeper. I'm going to do this quickly. Hopefully, we can show this in a quick manner. Let's make sure we're centered here. We're going to just go back by the days, and I want you to see what's going on here. We already presented all of these things, but if you look at the path of Comet Weir shows going back, we have an alignment here with Hercules, and then it cuts off the head of Draco. And if we go back, it makes another alignment with Hercules and another alignment with Hercules multiple times. And then it goes back to Draco. This is a very important sign that we're witnessing here in the heavens. This is the battle of Hercules and the dragon. And we can see the sign of the comet coming here to show us the crown given. And this, I believe, is the crown that's given to the mighty Hercules. And if you're trained in your Mazzaroth language, then this is a representation of Christ and the battle with the dragon. And this is shown to us in the imagery of the heavens. If you move forward, uh, we watch as this now enters into the hupa, which is the marriage chamber. And we can watch how it also makes its alignment with serpents. And then it goes directly into the white horse rider. And so we are getting the language of the crown given here at Corona Borealis. So let's go pull up. No, this is Weir shows. I'm sorry, fam. There's a lot here. This is Comet Weir shows, and this is Hercules gets the crown. Again, remember who Hercules represents. And remember who the true white horse rider is. Now, if you understand Mazzaroth language, then it depends. Each time you do a breakdown of a constellation, the planets and the comets and the asteroids that are there bring forth the language of what we are witnessing. And without those, we don't have anything more than your typical Mazzaroth understanding. But each of these comets or asteroids can bring forth more detailed information about what we're witnessing in the heavens. So we have comet where shows equals the world is about to change, the greatest show on earth. Mercury, Venus, the planet Venus. The storm is here. Black plague is next. The divine triangle, the end of the world. Southern border. Spiritual army, break the matrix code. Wicked matrix hacked to bits. Hollywood burn. Doomsday, the evil number. 13th of January. Okay, fam. For those of you who do not know, that is the second day of Mazzaroth Hanukkah, based on the signs in the sun, moon, and stars. Order of Melchizedek, decode serpent bearer. Saturn was a son. Yahweh Saturn. Michael ready for fire and judgment. Okay, we can see how deep this language is going with this corona borealis, this crown that's given to Hercules, who is the white horse rider. And the reason we can see that is watch the path. Who does this represent? We know who this represents. Now we continue to see more signs of the battle with the serpent. And it goes directly into the signs that we're looking for. Here we see the alignment with the white horse rider. And we will be bringing forth all of these signs as we move forward through our time. And this is some of the most important language that we're able to use in the heavens to show us the continuing prophetic language in the heavens. Okay, next we're going to Psyche. This is asteroid Psyche. Excuse me, fam. We're looking at our alignment here on the 17th. It's about close enough. So we're looking at the alignment with Psyche and the horn of Taurus. And it's very important to understand how this language, it really goes. Let's see where, I hope I have it up. Okay, I'm going to have to go and forgive me, fam. I missed one and I want to be able to bring this forward. I've got to go hunt this. Forgive me. Okay, let's get this pulled up. Forgive me, fam. This is important for us to have this in the mix. This one's really important. It's always stood out to me, and I want to make sure that we get this in the report. Again, this has been a lot. We have asteroid Psyche, September the 17th, aligning with the horn of the bull, Taurus. Asteroid Psyche equals firm rapture. Portal activated. All systems go. Phoenix rising. Gathering of Christ Church. My bride. Safe location. The Great Shepherd. Decode the Lord Zodiac. John the Baptist. Yeshaya. Spiritual war. Fake alien invasion. The mark. Death and resurrection. I am found in Holy Bible. Escape the Matrix, March 16. My Jesus comes, ready to break free. Okay, God. Okay, again, these things are undeniable, and we have asteroid Psyche aligning with the horn of Taurus is like a warning. It's like a trumpet blast warning us to take a deeper look. We use the codes to bring forth more language that we can use to see what this asteroid alignment is speaking. So we have Psyche right there pointing the way, and we all know that psyche equals the soul. This is like the soul of the Mazzaroth. And now we have an alignment with the horn. This is the soul of the Mazzaroth blowing the trumpet. So we need to continue to look up. We have some serious stuff going down. And our next is going to be Alexandra. We just did that one. Um, let's go to Florenza. Sorry, fam. There is an incredible. Okay, I'm having problems pulling up one of our codes, so we're gonna leave that one out. Now we're going to go to the sun, and we're going to be watching this transition here. This is important for us to see that this is happening late on the 16th. We see the sun entering now into the constellation. Let's go ahead and watch this. We'll pull it up on Meridian. And now we have the sun just entering into the Virgo constellation. This is September the 17th. So we have the sun, Mercury, Mars, and there's multiple comets within the Virgo constellation. This is really important constellation language. So everything is pointing right now to the Virgo or the maiden constellation. This is the bride. And we have the bridegroom now in the constellation of the bride. We have the messenger in the constellation of the bride. We also have the constellation Mars, and again, remember Mars is a representation. One of the representations of Mars is war, and it can be also strife, conflict. There's many other equations to that. It's not always war, but we can see that from the time that Mars made its alignment with Spica, we have been in a state of high alert, and you can't make that up because these are important alignments. And now we have on the 17th the sun in the constellation now of Virgo, the maiden. Our next sign is going to be Vesta. And here we have on the 18th, we can see Vesta just comes into the constellation here. And we're looking at Vesta entering Scorpius. And she's left the Libra constellation. Let's look at the codes for Vesta. I have it here as the 23rd because Vesta makes another alignment after this alignment. So this original first alignment is on the 18th when it enters into Scorpio. And then we'll be showing you this next alignment. So asteroid Vesta equals God's secret plan, divine cosmic secret, secret energy key, secret window, vortex, God's trumpet, Jupiter's arc, return to my kingdom, tribes of Israel, war in Israel, beginning of the end, prayers of the faithful, helmet of salvation, your guardian angels, Nazareth, Day of Atonement. My God speaks to heaven, light of Venus, bride on a road to heaven, and key in sequence has begun. Okay, so here we have Vesta entering into the constellation. Um, and we're going to watch Vesta make its move here, and it's going to enter on the 23rd into what we have here as our alignment with the Blue Horsehead Nebula. And I posted on, I believe it was the 23rd or the 24th. You can go into the community. I posted the star codes for this Blue Horsehead Nebula. And so we see Vesta in this constellation for just over a day. So we can see how Vesta goes through this constellation and makes some very interesting alignments. And it's a very important time for the virgins to be in the nebula. It's a sign to us, and Vesta's always playing a very important role. This is in a part of the heavens that is a sign of harvest because of the location. The star New Scorpii is right there in the claws of Scorpio, and that has always been a depiction of a harvest. So from Acrab, you can see here, from this star to New Scorpii is the two signs of the claws of Scorpio. And this section of the heavens was always known as another harvest sign, and it also had to do with the scales of Libra. And if you look at the time of this alignment with Vesta, we have the moon entering into the scales of Libra. Let's look at the moon, and we can watch at that same time the moon transition through the altar of Libra into the scales of Libra and then into the Scorpio constellation. So it's important for us to see these signs aligning in the heavens. So now we have a Sekome as our next, and this is our next alignment. And you just cannot make this stuff up. We're looking at so we have the alignment of a Sekome with Deshuba, and we can also see how that is pointing to the movement of Vesta from the constellation of Libra. Let's look at the codes. We have asteroid Sekome equals I'm completing the code. I'm calling dead man to breathe. I'm a lighthouse, holy double eight. He is our Redeemer, perfect alignment, Christmas star, Mercury 7, September 9th, follow the rabbit, CERN is the beast, Antichrist beast, cyber germ warfare, computer AI, SARS-CoV, Corolla, crushing snakes, the oil of Christ. You raise me up. And if you look at that last one, a Sekome is just entering into the Scorpio constellation from Libra, and these scales go up and down. And if you remember back to, it's been a long time. If you remember back to the Google Doodle of the scales, I forgot the name of the scientists that they were honoring for that event, but it shows some very, very interesting depictions of the sun in the scales and the moon in the scales. And this is pointing to Libra as a gateway. And I believe that the transition from Libra into Scorpio and Ophiuchus is very important when it comes to the escape of the bride and the final stage of the bridal signs. So we're getting that pointed to us here with Vesta and a Sekome, and we can also, I'm just going to throw this in quickly. We can also see that Metis, the wedding, is also in transition through Libra right now. So it's important to see how these are all transitioning together. This is Vesta, the virgins, and Metis, the wedding. And then we had the language coming from Sekome. So now let's move to Greaves. And we have another. If we just go forward a couple minutes, we have this, I believe, happens the next day. We're looking at Alex Greaves aligning with Akrab, and this is also very, very important. This is alignment with Chi Ophiuchi. Let's go back quickly and let's look at this alignment here. Um, okay, so we have, I believe I have this on two. Yes, okay. So, this is the first alignment with Alex Greaves. And we have another alignment on October 3rd, and I'll be bringing that forward in the next report. But I have already changed the date, so don't mind the date. What we're looking for is Alex Greaves on the 19th, aligning with on Meridian with Akrab. So let's look at that. We're here, Alex Greaves. and we're on meridian with Akrab. So we can see how Scorpius, we're in the constellation of Scorpius, and we have this alignment with Akrab, again pointing to a harvest. Alex Greaves aligns with Chi Ophiuchi on the 3rd. This is the Ophiuchus signs coming up next. Alex Greaves. This is asteroid Alex Greaves equals spiritual awakening is monarch mind control slave. Beast deadly wound healed. The Anunnaki god of gods, arrival of the Lord God year, the apocalypse happens, the dimension of love, US Gov, our fallen angels. Repent and be converted, real ID, the beast beginning, New Madrid earthquake, Japan versus China, Scarlet Woman and Beast, new heaven and new earth. When is the rapture? Saturn's hexagram matrix. World War and then peace. The Great Pyramids of Giza. Internet 9/11. Okay, fam. These bring forth a lot of language. It's important for us to understand this sign is on the 19th of September. And then again, we have October 3rd is our next alignment with Alex Greaves. We'll be bringing forth that in the next report. Let's move forward. Our next sign we're looking at is Comet Shomas. And this is very important. Let's move to this sign, and hopefully we'll be able to get this pulled up. I don't see it. There it is. Okay, fam, we're trucking now. Okay, this is a very important sign that we're looking at here. This is Comet 24P Showmass aligning with the Club of Orion on the 18th through the 21st. And it exits midday on the 21st. This is another sign of the coming war. We have the Club of Orion, or in some ancient depictions, it was shown as a sword. This is the sword coming. This is Comet Shellmass from the 19th to the 21st, showing us very important sign. Let's dig into the codes. Comet Shellmass equals bottomless pit, insurrection, Metatron's cube, Last Supper, the son of perdition, resurrection, United Nations. Behold, Jesus is back. Apocalypse now, tree of knowledge, first horseman. Last days, Babylon is fallen. mathematical language of God. I am flipping the script. In the cloud, the Lord, AI singularity, the seventh angel, the final code of codes to crack. October full moon. First fruits, mass uprising. You don't make this up. This is war language. And we have a comet in the constellation of Orion pointing us to some very important times coming up. Okay, now we're looking at a very important sign. This is very, very important. We're going to take it back and we're going to be showing you this very important sign here. This is one of the most important signs in the heavens that I've seen lately. This is the alignment of the moon, Venus, and Regulus on September the 19th in the early morning hours of Pacific time. We have the bride and the morning star and the king star all aligning in the constellation Leo. This is very important bride language. This is the bride aligning with the king, and Venus is a depiction of Christ. It can also be a depiction of the bride of Christ. And we have this very, very strong bridal language showing up on the 19th, right at the time that show mass aligns with Orion's club. And right after we see Vesta and a Sekome and the sun entering into Virgo. So these are all tied. This is all bride language, all coming down within days to bring forth some really strong language for the bride of Christ to be able to see the storyline breaking down in the heavens so that we know where we're at on the roadmap. These are all like road signs pointing us in the right direction. If you remember back to the wise men, then they had very specific. They had very specific timing for the signs that they were looking for, and that for us is very important to watch for. And this is a very similar sign. Um, if you remember back to when Christ was born, there was a triple conjunction here with Jupiter. And one of the conjunctions with what was Jupiter and Venus. And that was one of the signs. And now we're looking at Venus and the king star lining with the moon, which is the bride. If you remember during the time of Christ, it was Jupiter, so that would represent the king or Christ. And this sign is representing the bride of Christ. And so this is a very, very important alignment that we just can't miss the understanding of The next sign is going to be connected. So here we see asteroid Esther, and we have Esther has just passed Scorpio and is now entered. Let's see, on my date chart, we have the 20th. So let's go back to Esther. And we have Esther's now in the constellation of Ophiuchus. On 920, Esther has now entered into Ophiuchus. You can consider this an entrance into the marriage chamber, because she's now in the Ophiuchus constellation. And Ophiuchus, if you look at the body of Ophiuchus, it represents the huppah, which in the ancient Israelite custom is the marriage chamber. And you can see the line drawn from the right leg of Ophiuchus that goes down into the Golden Gate. And that is also tied to the marriage. And we'll be breaking that down when we get to the Escape of the Bride, Decode 12. We will be showing how Esther and Vesta and a couple of the comments that we have are pointing us directly to the wedding. And you can't rush any of these signs. These are being pointed to us so that we know exactly where we are in the story. And if we're following the calendars of man, we're going to be confused. We need to be able to look at the signs in the sun, moon, and stars, and that is how we're going to be led to the great wedding. This wedding is going to be shown to us in the heavens. And those signs will lead us to the actual wedding. And before that, I do not believe it's going to happen. It doesn't happen in reverse. The signs of the wedding aren't going to be shown to those left behind. They're for the bride. And that bride has the opportunity to watch day by day as the signs continue to build. And that's what's happening here. These are the building signs. We know that Esther and the story of Esther is about the bride. We have Vesta right there. We have a Sekome right there. We have Dembowska right there. We have Juno right there. We have all of the participants in the story of the wedding. So this is a very important sign. We have Esther entering into the Fupa constellation on the 20th of September. And next, we're going to asteroid Wade. And this is, again, very, very important language. We're looking at asteroid Wade aligning on the 21st of September. Family, this is really important because um, I believe that this is possibly tied to the event that happened with Charlie Kirk. The The date of the 21st is when they had the ritual. And I believe that this is tied. Let's dig into these codes. Um, I think this is I think we can find some information here that brings forth some light. So, asteroid Wade aligns with the bridegroom Pollux on September the 21st. Trouble for Jacob, planned virus, vaccine, mark of the beast, Judgment Day, decode Book of Revelation, break the chains, Middle East war, atomic weapon, red tsunami. Saturn destroyed. End of time. Sagittarius. Salvation is coming. Wedding angels. Coronation. White robes. House of Virgo. Palisades fire. And babies' lives matter. I think this language goes very, very deep. We have the alignment of Wade with Pollux, the bridegroom, and it's right next to Jupiter, the bridegroom. This is a representation of Christ the King, who's our bridegroom. And now we have this alignment with Wade, and it brings forth some deep language, and we need to be able to see each of these things come forth so we have a deeper grasp of what's going on. We see Jupiter, which is our representation of Christ. This is the star, the wandering star that the wise men used to locate the birth of Messiah. Next, we're going to Apollonia. Okay, fam. You just cannot make this kind of stuff up. This is happening almost at the same time. It's just a couple hours before, actually. Let's get this up. Okay, here we go. This is asteroid Apollonia aligning with the birth line and Spica in the constellation of the Virgin. We have asteroid Apollonia. Let's go hunt the codes. Asteroid Apollonia equals Thomas A. Anderson, Antichrist Kingdom, Transhuman, Church of Satan, Dark Days, Enoch, Thoth, Hermes, Satan's Horns, Sarcophagus, Babylon Decoded. The world is a stage. Meet me in the chambers, creator of Anunnaki. I am defeating all the demons, and the Word became flesh. Yeshua, the Messiah, Jesus is Savior. Operation Repo and Apollyon Rising. The next alignment with asteroid Apollonia will be on October the 17th, and it'll align with the maiden Virgo. This is the alignment with Spica and the Harvest Star. And this is also, again, the birth line. And if we scroll in closer, we have some serious signs going on in the constellation of Virgo. We have Swan, we have K1 Atlas, and we also have 3i Atlas that's not being shown, but it is also in the constellation of Virgo at this moment. So this is a very important sign. We also have the new moon happening right at this time. And if you're not familiar, this is also the day of Saturn's opposition. And if you look at satanic rituals, they use the new moons and the full moons, and Saturn plays a big role in their sacrifices and in their rituals. And September the 21st is Saturn opposition, a new moon, and the last day of summer. Now, these things are all used for ritual magic, and I believe that the Charlie Kirk event was used for that purpose. Okay, our next sign is, let's pull this up. Oh, forgive me, fam. My computer's acting up. I don't see it here. I'm going to have to do this slightly different. There we go. Okay, so here we have Comet Machos, and on the 22nd, Machos makes its alignment with the Hoopa, which is the constellation of Ophiuchus. And you can see that the entire line of Machos comets is moving through this area of the heavens. And this is all pointing to Vesta and Esther and Sekome, Dembowska, Juno. These three comets are pointing us directly to the bridal signs. So let's go dig up these codes. This is Comet Machos. Seed of Satan punished, sign in the sky. I am Mary Magdalene, moon matrix, true bride of the Lord, seven stars, the book of Enoch, the great beast and harlot, phoenix rise, broadcast end of time message, apocalypse death, ends curse beyond earth ends, Yeshua HaMashiach 101, new beginnings, AE resurrected, and the seal of the eye. Okay, fam, you cannot make these things up at all. This is all really deep language, bringing forth the things that we need to see and hear in the heavens to keep us looking forward. This is Comet Machos aligning with the Hoopa, the marriage chamber. And the next sign is Alexanderson. And we have another sign in the bridegroom. So here we are. We're looking at Alexanderson, another bridegroom alignment. And its next alignment will happen on October the 1st. It's going to align again with the bridegroom. So we have the alignment of Alexanderson on the 22nd of September, and then again on October the 1st. Asteroid Alexanderson equals sudden rapture soon. The rise of the phoenix. She ran off with Christ. God bless the United States. Israel versus Hamas. You were chosen by God. God is 1, 1, 11. 11 is the equal sign. Writings on the wall. Behold, I make all things new. Anointed body of rebirth, the return of the dove. Break Saturn's mind control. Snake encircling the earth. The whole armor of God. Queen of New Jerusalem. Isis, Apophis, Osiris. The Matrix has attacked me. COVID hoax. Okay, family. Again, next alignment coming tomorrow. Asteroid Alexanderson. You can't make any of this stuff up. Its next alignment is here. We can see that these signs are all happening in the bridegroom. Okay, now we're going to look at the moon again. And we hopefully have this available to us. Oh, I just saw something else that I haven't seen. I just saw that. I did not know that there was this alignment here. All right, fam. So we have Amphitrite and the moon, and we are supposed to have K1 atlas, and I'm not sure where that is showing up. Again, some of these don't. Uh, Here we go. Here's K1 atlas. And what we're watching here is the moon alignment with K1 atlas. This is actually an occultation. If you watch this transition, you can see how Atlas is occulted by the moon, and that's a very important sign for us. Let's go ahead and look at Comet Atlas. This is C2025K1 Atlas. Comet Atlas equals Dragon Ball, the book, dedication, radiance, the one, arisen, all rise, Yahweh, Chiron, Freebird, Armageddon, Angel of Grace, Hanukkah, Angel Man, Shofar, Black Death, Philadelphia, Essian, and Vesta. Okay, fam, we keep getting the signs. This is more bridal language. This is the bride occulting Comet K1 Atlas. And this is happening in the sign of the bride. More signs for us to witness. And then we're going to be looking at Vesta again. And as we showed at that time, remember, Vesta is now entering into this blue Horsehead Nebula. And I posted it in the community, but I don't have those codes pulled up because it's just entirely too much. We already looked at the codes for Vesta earlier, so we just want to point that out that Vesta on the 23rd enters the blue Horsehead Nebula. And on 9/24, we have Amiamini. This is our next sign. Amiamini exits retrograde in the Temple of Sacrifice. So we have now this begins to move forward, and we can see here on 9/24 it makes its end of retrograde and then moves forward in the constellation of Capricornus. We can even see this alignment here coming up in October, and we'll be bringing forth all of the signs in October. I already have 2 pages worth of signs. That's typically double of what I've been getting. So things are really stacking up, and we are watching these signs. Let's get to the codes. Asteroid Amiamini. Next alignment, November the 1st, and it will align with the Temple of Sacrifice in Capricorn. This sign is happening on the 24th. This is the end of the retrograde asteroid Amiamini equals. This is the end. Code, fifth dimension, like father, like son, goddess Sophia, Pistis Sophia, observatory, install bread of life, release the Kraken, Babylon is falling. Economic collapse, April 14th, the 13th. Asteroid Hecate, March 30th, sign in the sky, 88 miles per hour, rock solid codes, rise, fire, rise. All will be revealed, Revelation 10. Amiamini in the temple. Next, we're going to Mercury. And we have an alignment with Mercury here. And Mercury aligns on the 28th. And we see that it is entering into the womb of Virgo. We have the comet and the sun right there. We have Swan still in the constellation, K1 Atlas, the sun, and Mars. So we have the messenger entering into the womb of Virgo. This is another sign pointing us to the birth. Mercury is our, like a pointer planet. It's the closest to the sun, so it can be looked at as the best man of the bridegroom. And next, we're going to go to Dembowska. This is one of the most important signs for me. This is Dembowska entering into the Scorpius constellation. You can see the line here at the base of Libra. If we go back to Dembowska, you can see that it's now in the Scorpio constellation on the 28th. We're going to be looking at asteroid Dembowska, September the 28th. It enters the Scorpion constellation. Asteroid Dembowska equals Bride of Jesus Christ, White Horse Rider. The kingdom of heaven is at hand, as in the days of Noah. Great American eclipse, the silver and gold threads. Wormwood star, you are the key holder. The Holy Spirit gone with the wind. I am free from all debts. Jesus the Christ, Yesu of Nazareth, the Lord of hosts, Lion's Gate portal, resurrections, and trump return. We see that Dembowska sitting at the base of the scales as it enters into the Scorpion constellation. And this can also be seen as a sign of judgment. We have the scales of Libra represented by this center mass. Dembowska aligning with this center mass can be a sign of also the Shamash candle in the menorah. And we'll leave that for later as we get deeper. But to me, Libra has always represented a menorah based on the understanding of the book of Esther and the story of Esther and the wedding tale that is depicted in that book and how that ties with Hanukkah and the celebration that Christ attended, and we have a lot of codes that are tied to this event. So I wanted to make sure that is brought forward. Our last asteroid is asteroid Eros, and this is one of the most important alignments to me because when you study the Mazzaroth as much as I have, then you realize that the importance of this Andromeda constellation in our storyline with the Pisces constellation. Andromeda is a deacon of Pisces, and it's directly involved in the escape of the bride signs. So when I saw this Eros alignment, it really was powerful to me. And I just got these codes done in the last couple days. This is Eros aligning with the Chain Maiden Andromeda on September the 29th. I broke the Gematria code. Don Trump, Peter the Roman, finished cross, spirit birth, God's anointing, Jesus cross, Jesus gospel, morning star, nuclear weapon, December 7th, Gematria code of God, divine presence, divine matrix, satanic ritual, the Trinity, look for his safe place. See, I opened sealed scroll. The scroll be open. KG. This is very, very serious language for the bride. This is the bound church, but it's also the bride because she goes from being a bound woman to her place in the heavens as Cassiopeia, the bride of the King of Heaven. And so this story is told through the tales of Perseus and his battle with the serpent maiden. And you can also read about that with the Pegasus horse. And this is the rescue of Andromeda. This is the chained bride or the chained maiden. Again, another representation of Virgo. And this can only be brought forth through Mazzaroth language because these are all tied. The same story that we read about with that is tied to Virgo and Bootes. And this is exactly the same storyline as Perseus and Andromeda. It's just another continuation of the same story. It's also the same story of Hercules, as all of these figures are tied to Christ figures and the battle of the seeds of the seed of the serpent and the seed of Christ. So we have Andromeda as our last sign. I posted some stuff in the community, and I'd really like to have those of you who watch this video to go there and do some extra study on the Andromeda constellation. It's very, very important if you consider yourself a bride of Christ. Then take the time to go and read the little bit of research study that I did. And there's some websites that you can go to that bring forth more of this Mazzaroth language. I want to thank everyone for coming, and we will see you again very soon. Much love.